My name is Mike Mamrak. I'm the board vice president. Rich Mike had a prior engagement tonight, so you guys are stuck with me. You're welcome. We're going to open up for public comments, but I wanted to go over a couple things first, just so that everyone knows what we're expecting and what you're expecting of us. It goes without saying, obviously, we want to respect everyone around us. We have to work with each other, go to the grocery store, go to church with the same people sitting around you. So let's be respectful. We'd like to keep it to 3 minutes for the comment section again. I am certainly not going to sit up here with a stopwatch and stop you as soon as it hits 3 minutes. But just remember that if you are going too long, I may remind you to wrap it up, and the person behind you may get less of a chance to speak this evening. We'll be treating this the same way we did last time, and we do at all our meetings, which is please don't expect a response from the board as a whole during the comment section. If you do have comments, questions, please address them to myself or Mr. Pollock. We'll do the best we can to address them as we see fit. And I'm sorry if the response doesn't sit well. It's just not meant to be a discussion. It's meant to be a comment section where we digest what you're saying and take that into account for further votes. So moving on to public comment, there was no sign-up sheet for this due to the timeliness of the meeting, so we will just take people in order that they arrive at the microphone. Like last time, please introduce yourself to the board, and we can begin the comment section.
Hello, Mike Miller, 107 Brookfield Drive, Hughesville, Pennsylvania. If the board allows me, first I would like to address the people behind me. Everyone, I know our emotions are high, but like they said, we live with these people. We've known most of these people our entire lives. Let's stop bothering them at work. Let's stop social bullying them, because if any one of you guys as kids were getting that done to them, you guys would be standing in that office demanding for a kid to be expelled. Let's have the same respect for them. Now, I talked to some people from the board this morning. They remind me about legality. So, I read the mask mandate. I've read OSHA laws on masks. So I'd like to ask the board or Mr. Solicitor if anybody on this board is certified to get the fit test for a mask. I think that is no. So, as parents, you guys trust us as uncertified people to choose a right mask for our children to wear. And that's completely fine. But you're taking the power away from us as parents to choose whether our kids should wear a mask or not. But you're waiving legal responsibility to it. You're waiving federal law that there needs to be mask training for a mask mandate. You give that responsibility to us parents, but we can't have the responsibility to decide whether our children want to wear a mask or not. How is that right? Mr. Solicitor, am I quoting laws wrong? Okay, thank you. So that's what the mask mandate says. Also in the mask mandate, it says there's no proof that a face shield is going to do anything, but you guys allow that. An N95 mask is only certified up to 0.3 microns of filtration. Coronavirus is 0.01 micron. In all studies, what you're doing by wearing an N95 mask, which is 10 times better than any mask that any of you guys are wearing, any mask you're going to buy at Hobby Lobby, CVS, Sheets, wherever you go, an N95 mask is just hoping that coronavirus latches on to mucus or saliva and gets caught in the mask. And that's for an N95 mask, which you have to be certified, fit tested to wear. So our Hobby Lobby mask, gaiters, bandanas, piece of a shirt you tie around you is doing nothing. It's been proven. And that's, I guess, all I have to say for you guys tonight. You know, everybody wants to quote legality, follow the laws. That's the laws. That's the legal terms. Thank you. Thank you.
I wear my mask in the coffee line. Okay. It doesn't necessarily protect me. It protects you from whatever I may have picked up. Because I'm also running for office. So I see people people every day, and I always have this mask. Yeah, so, and I do it only to protect the people I'm coming in contact with, because I don't know if I got sick or if I came in contact, and I don't want to spread it. So that's why I wear my mask. Okay? And exactly. And it's all of our choices. My issue is, my son, I got a call today at 1:35 in the afternoon, telling me I needed to come pick my son up because contact tracing, he had been in contact with a student. Now, I know we have to quarantine. I'm fine with that. He's actually listening to the school meeting right now in the car. He has a few things he would like to say. He's also wearing a mask. Anyway, as I'm reading through the lovely letter that I'm sure there are other parents who would have received when their kids got sent home. You didn't? Oh, they're supposed to have one of these. Yeah, so, he is able to return on 9/19. Correct me if I'm wrong, parents, but it's today, not the 20th. Okay. And if he gets his a negative antibody test, or he gets the negative COVID test, he can return on the 22nd, which is Wednesday. So doing the math, the minimum they have to be out is 7 days. He was contact traced back to last Wednesday, and apparently he knows the student that was positive, and the student had also been here and reported the positive test prior to the end of day Friday. Yet, did any of you get a text message notifying us of a positive test over the weekend? Because I did not.
Yeah.
I keep track of them. I screenshot them because they don't show up on the district website either. So as you can tell, I don't disagree with your right to decide. Okay? I don't disagree with anyone's right to decide anything. I am immunocompromised. Should my son come home and he is an asymptomatic carrier, I would die. I'm here. I'm trying to make change. I'm trying to do the right thing for people. I'm trying not to live in fear. But the mask only protects you from me. This mask is doing nothing in this room with all of you. It's not protecting me. It protects you. That is the science behind the mask. It is. It is basic grade school level health class. When you, Dr. Wetzel was just born. I have an M95 right now. So, I'm going to just read some numbers. And the school board, I would love it if you could explain to me how my son was in contact last Wednesday and I don't find out until Monday. Not only was my child in school all last week, so was the other child. So were all of the other kids sent home today that were in contact with that one kid. And it led me to contact trace to the people that we were around this weekend who have children under the age of 12 who cannot be vaccinated. So that'll be for a minute. So Lycoming County's most recent 7-day total infections exceed the numbers for both the United States in general and for Pennsylvania as a whole. Granted, that's all of Lycoming County. Locally, Lycoming County remains among 95% of all U.S. counties that are designated as having high levels of community virus transmission. What we need to do, because our numbers have not peaked, we're not slowing down, we're rapidly increasing. We need to get the number of vaccinated people up. We need to be wearing our masks indoors in indoor settings. Good ventilation, routine testing of asymptomatic people who have been exposed. I've been wearing this mask that's on my face right now since, say, 11 a.m. I'm still breathing fine. I haven't taken it off because, of course, I had to come directly and get my son, and it hasn't been off my face. I tried to take him getting tested.
And I'm sorry, man.
I'm so sorry, but you guys all got to yell last week, and so I actually showed up today. May I please speak? Thank you.
Excuse me, could we have your name? You didn't.
I'm so sorry, Rose. It's Amanda Waldman. With the rise in cases, with the number of positive cases in this school on a daily basis, and because we didn't get notified in a timely fashion, is it because that number is not going to be reported? Or is it because you haven't gotten around to it yet? Or is that the most recent text we just got? And why are the text messages not going out as soon as you're notified? Why are you waiting until after both the high school office is closed and the business's office is closed? Are you hoping it calms us down? Because I have the exact opposite reaction to that. And unfortunately, Mr. Pollock got the brunt end of that a week and a half ago when I also had to remove Quinn from school. Because he was sent home on a bus while he was exhibiting signs and symptoms of COVID. So he's going with all of your elementary school kids on the school bus. There's a lot of social distance on them, isn't there? I'm not comfortable with infecting someone else. I don't agree with you not following the mandate because it is a mandate. The title of the document, i.e. doesn't have to be in the document, it's titled mandate. But I support parental choice, but I'm pretty sure all the parents here don't want the kids who are sick in this school getting on the bus and infecting their kids and disrupting their lives even more. I can't force them. You are the school board. Your job is to act in the best interest of every single student, not just mine, not just theirs, all of them collectively. And with the number of people that were absent the week of September 8th, the number of students absent the week of September 8th due to colds, respiratory illnesses, and COVID, you are not protecting our children. And you are increasing anxiety and stress on these kids. I don't doubt a single thing that Faith just said. I've known Faith since she was born. Her anxiety level did go through the roof. This is adding more, and us fighting is adding that much more on top of it. Quinn would also like me to tell you, my son, he hates wearing a mask. But if it protects his friends that he's around, then he's happy to wear it. And is it uncomfortable? And is it ridiculous? And is it hot? Yes. Can he breathe just fine? Yes. He's going to do it for others, and I hope others can do it for him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Will Phillips. I'm a 6th grader at Ashcar Elementary. I want you to know masks are hard to breathe through when we have to run to warm up for gym. And when gym is inside, I have asthma, which makes this worse. I know you might think what I know as a kid, but I have noticed a change in my emotions when wearing a mask. I'm often sad and frustrated. I feel lonely when wearing a mask and being separated from my friends during lunch and in class. Wearing masks also makes it hard to hear my teacher speaking in class. When we have reading class, it is hard to hear what other students are reading. I am tired and just want to go back to normal. Thank you.
What we did is we asked Chris to review all of the legal opinions out there and get back to us about did that indeed change his mind, didn't change his legal opinion. And just to share with you, every time we get a new piece of information, we research every single bit of new information. There's new information out there all of the time. So we are constantly looking at that. We're looking at the fact that there was and someone actually shared it with me today, I believe, or maybe it was even over the weekend. Now, I apologize about the fact that they're looking at the legal aspect of this from the point of view of was the Department of Health mandate a regulation or was it a mandate? Because it's a regulation, it's got a whole different process that it goes through, and so that's in part
a long process.
Yeah, that's part of the process because if it's deemed to be a regulation, then there's a process that we have to go through before before the the acting Secretary of Health could make that decision. Reached out to Representative Ham, because he had mentioned other districts. I know of 2 districts in the county that are allowing parent sign-offs, and I know from speaking to both of their superintendents, neither of their law firms, that was not their recommendations.
Right.
And the only reason I reached out to Mr. Ham was from the perspective of maybe he knows something in a district I don't, because he didn't list the districts that were in there. So we're always trying to look into this.
Okay.
At the end of the day, and I apologize for taking up so much time, and I appreciate you listening, we're always trying to give as much information as we possibly can to all the board members. Because at the end of the day, it's been a challenging experience for the board for well over a year. When we first started last year in COVID, the number of folks that were contacting us, why are you still open? The school needs to be closed. And there were things that we internally debated, and maybe some of you were even online at some of those meetings that we were held. So we are always updating that. I reached out to those solicitors. I talked to other school districts on what are the companies that they're using, and what's the information that comes back. And what has really come back is, with the exception of just a very few solicitors, we're hearing the same thing. There's nobody on our board that likes this situation. Nobody likes it. We want to see kids happy. We want to see kids doing well. I didn't go into education to try to make kids unhappy. That's not what we did this for. But we are in between this unbelievable rock and a hard place, because you can sign off, and I appreciate it, and I believe every one of you is being absolutely honest, and every one of you is telling us exactly what you believe. But we also need to look at the guidance that were being offered from not only our solicitor, but other solicitors across the state. And at this point in time, they believe that mandate does carry weight.
Okay, so again, I'm not up here to debate the science. There's science on both sides, and there's legal issues as to whether the mandate is even legal or not. But right now, we're feeling the impression that you all are concerned more about your certifications and the threats that the union put out, and twisted everything, and you guys are going above and beyond the order of what it's even asking. Those 10 questions dealt with specifically how it affects you guys to make this decision or not. If you're weighed in and that's what your focus is, then you have a conflict of interest in deciding what happens with my child. That's why you should be removed from it, and it should be parents' choice.
Good evening. My name is Megan Cron, and I live in Picture Roxborough. I clearly have a mask on. I recognize that I am probably in the minority in this room. For those that are sitting up there, several of you know me from last year, from the year before that. From the year before that, I currently have 3 children in East Lycoming School District, an 8-year-old in 3rd grade, and 2 5-year-olds that have just started kindergarten apparel. For those of you that know me personally, know that I am an extremely suspicious individual when it comes to making sure that whoever I'm handing my children over to are taking good care of them. I've had many conversations with Corey Cotner. I've had many conversations with Mr. Pollock. I've had many conversations with the school counselors, the school guidance counselors, the school psychologists. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I feel as confidently as possible that when I hand my children over to people that I don't necessarily know, but am asked to entrust my children's safety into them, that I feel that I'm doing the best that I can. Similarly to other parents who have chosen to ask their children to wear masks, my children, all started the school year with masks on. We understood that it was optional. Last year, we chose not to send our children to public school in person, and we cyber schooled them. It was extremely difficult. We sat back and we watched what happened. Our fear was that if we sent our children in person, that they would get sick. if there had been any other communicable disease that was present at the time that was not quite the coronavirus, I would still have the same fear about my children getting sick. I 100% agree with other parents in this room that children getting germs is important. That's how they build their immune systems. However, this is one that we can do our best to be as preventable as possible. So last year, my husband and I stood back and we took a look at what was the district doing. We took a look at the numbers, we took a look at the reports coming out via text message, we took a look at how things were spreading. And we went into this summer with the idea that we felt that the school district did a satisfactory job in handling how things were being done, how they were handling cleaning, how they were handling making sure children were doing their best that they could to abide by the mask mandate, to abide by social distancing. And so we've chosen to send our children in person this year. I'm fully aware for everybody standing behind me that I can pull my children out and cyber school them again. We are choosing not to do that. Regardless of what the district decides to do, my children will still come to school with a mask on. Not necessarily for their safety, but for the safety of those around them. I am an essential worker. I come in contact with plenty of people who will never get vaccinated, who find themselves in precarious situations that will be a higher likelihood of me contracting the coronavirus. I am vaccinated, but I know that I could be an asymptomatic carrier every day of my life. My 8-year-old chose not to come in person because he was concerned about the number of people in this room that may not have a mask on. Because he knows that his mask protects you, and that you not having a mask doesn't protect him. But he did want me to share with the school board. He is happy to be back in school in person. If he had to rate wearing a mask, it's a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. But every day of his life, he told me he would choose to do anything he could to protect the other students in the room. And if that means wearing a mask, he will choose to do that. My child is diagnosed with ADHD. I am not a stranger to having a child who has a disability, who struggles in many ways emotionally. So I'm not someone who has no issues in terms of how my child acclimates to the public school. I agree that parents should have a choice. However, I also think that the amount of passive aggressiveness, the disrespect, the lack of concern for humanity of everyone else around you, when it's about me, my child, it's disappointing. I apologize if you think this is funny. And if you get sick, I will be concerned for your welfare, whoever was laughing. Well, regardless, this is a serious event, and if you need to laugh, I would ask you to leave. My family and my children care more about not just themselves, but everyone else around them. And if they have to mask every single day, by choice, they will do it. My 8-year-old, when the mask mandate was lifted for summer camp, he chose to wear his mask every day for 3 weeks. We gave him the option. We said, Reed, if you don't want to wear a mask in summer camp, you don't have to. And you know what he said to me? Mom, I care more about all those other people in the room than having to wear this mask. This is a minor issue for me at this point. If this was, I'm not answering questions for the audience. I'm not part of the school board. I'm not.
They don't answer either.
If you can say that, but I will tell you, I've gone toe-to-toe, round and round, many times with several of the school board members. And even though they may not have the answer in the moment, they're doing the best that they can to provide us the best answers that they can. And yes, they have a threat of public, being sued, lawsuits, but there's this flow of things, right? So I work in an industry where funding coming from the federal government, funding coming from the state government. I understand what happens if you don't follow the expectations of those funds. And I can understand that the parents in the room want to say, why do you care more about that? Let me tell you what happens. If the district loses funding, we lose sports, we lose extracurricular activities, we lose the arts. And so when we want to talk about what happens for your children's mental health, that will still decrease that effort. And at the end of the day, my 8-year-old said it best. We the parents are causing more problems, fighting about this issue, creating bullshit, because that's what he said, when we kids just want to come to school, see each other mask or not. And in terms of being able to like address how things are going with each other, you know, I can only see your eyes. I'm sorry, but we as adults need to do a better job of learning how to communicate with each other, mask or not. And so I don't know how we can expect our children not to work on those skills, mask or not. Teachers are there for 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, however long you're handing your children over to these people. We are the parents that come home to us at the end of the night. We have a responsibility to also teach them speech, also teach them manners, also teach them not to bully each other, also explain why people are different in their disabilities. This is one issue that's no different than some other issues. I hope the school board supports the mask mandate. And when it's overturned in the legislature, if that happens, I support that the school district overturns that mask mandate. But for now, at the end of the day, if this is the best decision you all can make sure my child and their children are safe, I support you doing that 100%.
Thank you.
Board, a while ago, the lady from Guys here said about you guys having 2 counselors at the high school and 1 at Ashcott, correct?
Yes.
What about Farrell and Ryan?
I said there's a guidance council that splits in time between parallel that exactly the point.
Well, what are you doing out of that school?
I'm sorry, then again.
What are you doing the counselors out of that school?
It's unfortunate if there's a crisis or something, they need to get rid of the guidance council, they just quickly get it.
Okay, thank you.
Don't have a meltdown. Get it to the right.
Mr. Farnsworth, the Giraffes. I'd like to point out that both the people were here with the masks. Both their kids were in their car by themselves with a mask on.
I'm sorry, my children are not in the car. They're with my husband.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood you there.
My son is 17. Yeah,
Okay.
almost 17, so yeah, he's not
Okay.
a small one.
But I'm saying, we're following these people that said, just 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We're following these people that said, you know, before Thanksgiving, the bars have to be closed at 8 o'clock because COVID comes out. Now these children are scared. My liberty doesn't end where your fear begins. No. You're responsible for you and yours. I'm responsible for me and mine. Okay? And Mr. Pollack, I heard you make a comment about you were checking with other solicitors around the state. You represent us. You represent us. You did your job.